Well, hello again everybody, and thanks for retuning to Classic Dirt Bike TV. And coming up in this next video posting, we're going to take a look at some racing highlights from the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club, and this is highlights from their Round 4 event that was held at Todholes Farm in sunny Stirling, and this of course was on the 15th of June in 2014. Now we're going to start the racing with the Twinshock Open 500s and the 250 class, so looks like the riders are all good to go as they wait for the gate to drop, or the elastic in this particular case. So as they leave the line, a cracking start by Paul Chiappa there, number 1 on the big 490 Michael. Quite a nice old school type racetrack here, all natural grassland terrain. Good to race on these old kind of tracks rather than these more modern supercross type tracks with all the whoops and jumps. So as they begin lap 1, it's Paul Chiappa, number 1, who's leading Mark Kenny there in second position. Both these riders on 490 Michaels, or Makos if you pronounce it that particular way. But a very nice setting for a Twinshock and Evolution type scramble here in the countryside of Stirling. As we take a look at Mark Kenny, number 13 on his Michael. These of course were the days when Mark used to race Michaels. He tends to prefer his Evolution Hondas to race these days, but nevertheless he was still quite quick on one of these old German Michaels back in 2014. So as they come round to complete lap 1, it's number 1 Paul Chiappa in first position, second is number 13 Mark Kenny, third is number 25, that's Craig Smith. Here's your fourth placed rider, that's number 151, that's John Stokes. Number 3 is Brian Allardyce, number 16 is James McLean, number 233 there is Graham Smith on the IT Yamaha. Gordon Forbes just making his way through there, number 19. Bill Porteous on the YZ Yamaha just making his way through. Alistair Aitken, number 15 is Alex Joyner. Number 27 just making his way through is Mike Doby. But on lap 2 it's still multiple Scottish Twinshock champion Paul Chiappa, number 1, who is still your race leader. It looks like Mark Kenny is still in there in second place, but it looks like Paul Chiappa is beginning to stretch a slight lead over second place man Mark Kenny. So as Paul comes round to complete lap 2, Mark Kenny just making his way up the hill there, number 13. Craig Smith just making his way through on his Michael 400 in third position. It looks like it's James McLean now who is in fourth position. John Stokes is in fifth, just going through, number 151. Quite a nice looking little RM125 Suzuki there. These bikes of course are allowed to race with the Twinshock classes. Now I should know the names of quite a few of these riders, but it's been some years since I've had any connection with the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club, so I might be a bit rusty on the names and the riders. But here's your race leader coming round to complete lap 3, Paul Chiappa. As you can see, quite quick on this 81 490 Michael, and you don't become the multiple Scottish Twinshock champion for nothing, for being slow, and I think Paul's won this championship at least 15 times that I'm aware of, so he certainly has quite a good pedigree in that respect. Second place man there's Mark Kenny just making his way through. Craig Smith is still in there in third position on the black 400 Michael. And number 3 again is Brian Allardyce, another vastly experienced rider who's come from the schoolboys back in the early 1970s and still racing here in 2014. Number 25 is Craig Smith. Craig Smith still in third position, just behind Mark Kenny. But Craig, a very quick rider on that black Michael. And we're looking at number 151, John Stokes, making his way through. And the track conditions are slightly slippy at this point, but nevertheless still quite good racing conditions, and the weather was a bit overcast on the day, but nevertheless dry, which was thankfully good for everybody concerned. As we look at number 151, John Stokes, riding this time on his Michael. John also rides a 480 Honda in other races. Now we're looking at number 311, that's Graham Miller on the 250 Husqvarna. Graham would eventually go on to win the 250 class. Quite another good rider. So we're looking at number 233 there, that's Graham Smith on the IT Yamaha. And Graham's riding also in the 250 class. Number 19 is Gordon Forbes from Gairloch Head on the west coast of Scotland, but we're looking at number 15, Alex Joyner, and I think that's a 1978 Honda Red Rocket. Number 86 there is Grant McClure, and number 45 is Gary White. But it was a win for Paul Chiappa, number 1. Second place was Mark Kenny, number 13, and third was Craig Smith, number 25. Okay, next up we move on to the big boys of the Evolution class. Some very quick riders in this class. Now these Evolution bikes were so called because of course the transformation from the older Twinshock bikes to these single shock rear suspension machines, and that's why they were termed Evolution bikes. But there's some very quick racers in this class as we watch them begin at lap 1. So as we pick up our race leader, it's number 4, Alan Reid, who is your race leader. Second is Gordon Morrison, number 471. Third position looks like it's Matthew Harper there, number 988. Tom Grant is number 9. Number 10 is Morton Hanna. Just trying to remember a few of these racers from back in the day. As I mentioned earlier, it's been quite a while since I've had any connection with this club, so I'm still a bit rusty on the names of some of these riders. But many of these Evolution bikes are made up of 500s and 250s. So we're picking up our race leader once again, number 4, Alan Reid. Alan, of course, is the owner and operator of MXM Graphics. So if you've bought any graphics from MXM in the last few years, then this is the man who probably supplied them. So it's number 4, Alan Reid, your race leader. Second is still Gordon Morrison. Looks like Matthew Harper is still in third position. Tom Grant, number 9, is in fourth. Morton Hanna, number 10, is in fifth position. That's one of the Pooler boys just making his way through, number 65. But again, some quite quick riders in this Evolution class race. So as we head back with our race leaders, it's still Alan Reid, who has now just been passed by number 471, Gordon Morrison, or Big Montana, as he's known around the paddock. Gordon certainly loves his wheels because he does a bit of rallycross as well as motocross, so he certainly likes his engines and his wheels, does Gordon. Now this was one of the wetter parts of the track, whoops, as you can no doubt tell, but looks like that rider's okay. He'll still be good to go. So now it's number 471, Gordon Morrison, your race leader. Gordon's riding a CR250 Honda. Alan Reid just in second position there. Tom Grant has now moved up into third position. Now Gordon was riding in the Evolution class here in 2014, but in later years he would switch to the Twinshock class and he would race a Twinshock 480 Honda machine and was very quick on it, as I was led to believe, but you can see he's extremely quick on this Honda CR250 bike. So we're looking at Tom Grant there in third position with Matthew Harper in fourth, but here's your race leader, number 471 Gordon Morrison. Second is still Alan Reid, number 4. Third is still Tom Grant. Matthew Harper, number 988, just making his way through. Morton Hanna, number 10. But it looks like Tom Grant has now moved up into second position, so this could be a battle to the checkered flag between Gordon Morrison and Tom Grant. These are two very tough motocross racers. Neither of these guys ever give an inch when it comes to winning races, so this is going to be quite a tough nut to crack between Gordon Morrison and number 9 Tom Grant. And both these riders certainly want to win this race to give them valuable championship points to the end of the racing season. So it'll be quite interesting to see who's going to stand on the top step of the podium once this race gets to its conclusion. So it's still Gordon Morrison, your race leader. Second is this man here, number 9 Tom Grant in second position, but Big Gordon is playing a blinder here because he's led most of this race right from the start gate. We're looking at number 10, that's Morton Hanna. He's riding one of those Loudon CR250 Hondas. It's one of the Pooler boys going through there, number 65. But it's quite a tricky little step, this one, to negotiate with that water running through the middle. Number 92, I think that's a little young guy Sharp, as I remember from back in the day. Another quick rider on one of these Evolution bikes. We are back to our battle between the front two of number 471 Gordon Morrison. Number 9 is Tom Grant. Tom Grant looks like he's determined to make the pass on Gordon Morrison for that lead position. Both these riders on these CR250 Honda bikes. Looks like Tom's made the turn round the outside, but can he make it stick as they go into the right-hander beyond the trees? Looks like it's still Gordon, your race leader, number 471. But this has been a fantastic battle between these two talented Evo racers, but it looks like Tom Grant's got held up by one of the guys that was stuck in that little water ditch there, but Gordon's got a bit of breathing space as he heads towards the checkered flag. So we're just short of half a lap to go, and Gordon Morrison certainly deserves this win as he's led this race right from the start gate. So as they head towards the last 2 or 3 turns, it's still number 471 Gordon Morrison, your race leader in this first Evolution class race of the day. So as he makes his final turn, goes up the hill, it's a win for Gordon Morrison. Second is Tom Grant, and third is Morton Hanna. Okay, next up we're on to the over 40s and over 50s class as they leave the line and make their way down into turn 1. Looks like a good start by number 500, that's Graham Naismith on the 250 Kawasaki bike. But quite a tricky turn, this left-hand turn with the adverse camber on the hill. But you can see quite a good turnout of over 40s and 50s riders for this class. But it's number 500, Graham Naismith on the Kawasaki, your race leader. Second is Davy Pooler on the CR250 Honda. Third position looks like, I think that's Chris Cannon there on the Suzuki in third position. And number 82 there, I think that was Scott Napier just making his way through. Number 106 is John Mitchell. Number 200 is Albert Britton. Number 60 is Callum Wilson. Number 30 there is Richie McFadden on his yellow wheeled Michael. A little bit of elbowing there coming out the turn, which wasn't very gentlemanly. So we're looking at number 55. That's Davy Pooler in second position. It's still number 500, Graham Naismith. These were the days when Graham used to race his Kawasaki, but unfortunately, as far as I know, Graham doesn't race motocross any longer because of injuries, but it's quite good to see him back on a racetrack again, and you can see just how quick he was back in the day. So it's Graham Naismith, your race leader. Number 55 is Davy Pooler in second position. Now, as far as I know, the Scottish Twinshock Club no longer have this venue as a race venue, but back in the day in 2014 it was a fantastic piece of land for this type of evolution and Twinshock racing. So it's still at number 500, Graham Naismith, your race leader. Number 55, Davy Pooler in second position. Davy Pooler, of course, a driving instructor for his day job, and races these bikes at weekends. Number 60 is Callum Wilson on his 4-stroke Husqvarna. Now, you may remember this bike was featured on my YouTube channel many years ago when it was involved in a fire in Callum's van, and it was fully restored. And as you can see, Callum's now back racing the bike. Number 30 there is Richie McFadden just going through. Number 200 is Albert Britton on the 250 YZ Yamaha. But once again, this has been a cracking race by Graham Naismith, number 500. Graham got the whole shot right after the start of this race, so he's still in pole position there with Davy Pooler, number 55, looking to try and make a move for that first place position, but Graham's riding an absolute belter of a race on that 250 Kawasaki. Now remember, this is a combined over 40s and over 50s class race, and of course both classes will be scored separately as they cross the finish line by our intrepid lap scorers, because of course these were the days before we had transponders and all the modern electronic gadgetry. So that's Scott Napier just making his way through there, number 82. Number 45 is Johnny Rutherford, or Bunga as he's known to his mates. But the track conditions are still holding up well here at Todholes Farm in Stirling, as we take a look at Callum Wilson once again, number 60, on that big TC 510 Husqvarna machine. Big, powerful 4-stroke bike. Number 44 is Rick Caldwell. Number 30 once again is Richie McFadden with the yellow wheels on that what looks like an old 1977 400 Maiko. But here's the battle for the race lead. It's looks like it's now at number 55, Davy Pooler, who's just stolen the lead from Graham Naismith, so hopefully Graham will make a fight back to try and regain that pole position before the checkered flag. But it's Davy Pooler, your new race leader, with Graham Naismith in second position. Number 54 once again is Johnny Rutherford. as we watch some of the other riders coming round to start their last and final lap of this over 40s and 50s class race. As we take a look at number 176, that's Donnie Bruce on one of his many race bikes. It looks like Donnie's on a CR250 Honda Evolution bike. Of course, these over 50s and over 40s riders can race these Evolution bikes if they so desire. We look at number 60 once again, Callum Wilson. I think Callum would eventually go on to win the 4-stroke class on this bike at the end of the day. So as our race leaders head towards the checkered flag, it looks like it's going to be a win for number 55 Davy Pooler, with number 500 Graham Naismith in second place on that 250 Kawasaki. Okay, we're back to race 2 for the Twinshock 500s and 250s class. Looks like Paul Chiappa's made another blinding start and got the whole shot from the start gate. But another good field of riders for this combined Twinshock class race. So it's still number 1, multiple Scottish Twinshock champion Paul Chiappa on the 490 Michael, who's your race leader. Second looks like it's Craig Smith. Third is Mark Kenny, number 13. Fourth is James McLean, number 16. That looks like Graham Smith, number 233 on the 250 IT Yamaha. Number 3 is Brian Allardyce, number 15 is Alex Joyner. Number 47 there is Steve Moore, number 45 is Gary White. Number 46, I think that's Grant McClure just making his way through there. Gordon Forbes, number 19. Number 41 is Alistair Aitken. So we're taking a look at number 25 in second position. That's Craig Smith on the black 400 Michael. Third position there just behind is number 13, Mark Kenny. Mark, remember, did quite well in that first race, and I think he ended up with a second place finish, so he's doing quite well here in the second moto in third place. But here's your race leader, number 1, Paul Chiappa, a vastly experienced motocross rider from once again his days when he raced BSA Bantams way back in the early 1970s in the schoolboy class. So I'll give you an idea just how many years Paul has been racing these motocross machines. I was just speaking to him actually just recently, and he was telling me he was beginning to feel the old bones were beginning to creak a bit after more than 40 years riding motocross bikes. And I actually think Paul has spent more time in the saddle than Hollywood film star John Wayne. But here's your second place man, number 25, Craig Smith from Dunfermline. Third is Mark Kenny on his 490 Michael, or Mako. But the track is holding up perfectly here at Todholes Farm. Thankfully no rain was forecast on the day, but the track was just sufficiently wet to keep the dust at bay. So we're still with number 13, Mark Kenny, in third position. Still Paul Chiappa, number 1, in first place, with Craig Smith, number 25, in second. But this is still quite a good ride here by Mark Kenny. Number 15 there is aircraft engineer Alec Joyner, riding that quite nice 78 250 on the red Rocket. Number 233 in the blue is Graham Smith on the IT 250 Yamaha. Number 3 is Brian Allardyce. Number 47 just coming towards us is Steve Moore. And number 86 is Grant McClure. And number 19 is Gordon Forbes from the west coast of Scotland. So it's still number 1. The Dunfermline Motorcycles shop owner, Paul Chiappa, your race leader, on that quite tricked up Michael machine. There's not a lot that Paul doesn't know about these 490 Michaels, and I've seen quite a lot of riders sending their engines to Paul to get them sorted, because Paul is vastly experienced at rebuilding these Michael motors, so he certainly knows his way around them. So Paul Chiappa is still your race leader. Second, still number 25, Craig Smith. Number 13, Mark Kenny in third position. Looks like Mark's going to be challenging Craig Smith for that second place just shortly. So as these riders head towards the checkered flag on their last and final lap, it's still number 1, Paul Chiappa, with the slight lead over number 25, Craig Smith, in this Twinshock 500 and 250 class race. So as they come round to the last few turns, it's still number 1, Paul Chiappa, your race leader. Number 25, Craig Smith, is in second position. Number 13, Mark Kenny, is still sitting there in third spot. So as they head towards the checkered flag, it's going to be a win for Paul Chiappa, number 1, but it looks like Craig Smith's made a mistake and he's going to finish in third, and it's going to be Mark Kenny in second position. Okay, we're going to finish with the racing highlights from the 2014 Scottish Twinshock event with the Evolution class race 2. Looks like another good start by Gordon Morrison, number 471. Alan Reid, it looks like he's in second place as they start the first lap. But quite another good field of riders for this second Evolution class race. So it's number 471, Gordon Montana Morrison, your race leader. Alan Reid, number 4, is in second position. As they come into the wet part of the track, into the turn, it's still Alan Reid in second place. Looks like Matthew Harper, number 988, is your third placed rider. Tom Grant again is in fourth position. Number 10 there is Morton Hanna. Number 65 is another one of the Pooler riders. Number 25, Craig Smith, is now out on his 125 Honda Evolution bike. You may remember Craig just finished in third position there in the Twinshock class. But as the rest of the riders make their way round, looks like we're going to have another good battle at the front here between number 471 Gordon Morrison, Matthew Harper, number 988 there in second position. It looks like Alan Reid is still in third. But it's still Gordon Morrison from Matthew Harper, from Alan Reid, and number 9, Tom Grant, in fourth position. So as they come round to start another lap, it's still big Gordon Morrison leads Matthew Harper. Third is still Alan Reid, number 4, with Tom Grant trying to make his way through the front 3 leaders. Morton Hanna just making his way through there, number 10. But here's your race leader, Gordon Morrison. Remember, Gordon won that first Evolution race. He's hoping to make it the double in race 2, but Matthew Harper looks like he's going to challenge Gordon for that race position. Certainly an age difference between young Matthew Harper and Gordon Morrison, but Gordon won't let that worry him too much. It looks like we've lost Matthew Harper in second position, so it looks like it's now this man here, number 9, Tom Grant, your second placed rider, and that will place Alan Reid in third position. And so it looks like we are back to where we were in the first Evolution Moto with this battle between Gordon Morrison and number 9 in second place, Tom Grant. Remember, these two had a fantastic battle in that first race, so it looks like we're going to be served up with more of the same in this second race moto, but it's still Gordon Morrison, number 471 on the CR250 Honda, with Tom Grant in second place. Alan Reid is still in third. But Gordon Morrison certainly been on the case here at Todholes Farm. He led most of Moto 1 from start gate to checkered flag, and it looks like he's in a good position to do the same in this second race moto. We're looking at number 4 there, Alan Reid in third position. Number 10 is Morton Hanna, also riding one of those Loudon CR250 Hondas. But I do hope you've enjoyed this racing highlights from the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club's event at Todholes Farm. And don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this type of racing, and of course to see the many nice classic dirt bikes that are coming up soon here on my channel. So it's still Gordon Morrison, your race leader. Number 9, Tom Grant, is still in second position. But this is another excellent scrap between these two talented riders of Gordon Morrison and Tom Grant. As you can see, both riders certainly want to win this second moto. Gordon Morrison more than Tom Grant, of course, due to the fact that he's already won the first race, but Tom Grant will be looking to try and make amends for his runner-up position in Moto 1. And it looks like Tom has made that move on Gordon Morrison, so it's now Tom Grant, your race leader, from Gordon Morrison, number 471. Just let's hope that Tom can make it stick before the end of the race to take the win. But this has been another good ride by Tom Grant and Gordon Morrison. These two battle it out to see who's going to take this second Evolution class race win. Although I must say that Tom Grant certainly deserves this win, because Gordon is not an easy man to beat, and he certainly doesn't like being beat on the racetrack, so this race is far from over just yet. So as they begin their last and final lap of the second Evolution class race, it's still Tom Grant with the advantage over Gordon Morrison, number 471. But once again, I do hope you've enjoyed these racing highlights from Todholes Farm with the Scottish Twinshock Scramble Club. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you like what you see, and if you want to see more classic and Evolution bikes featured on my channel. So as these two riders head towards the checkered flag, it's still Tom Grant with a slight advantage over Gordon Morrison, but just less than half a lap to go to the checkered flag. So this has been a fantastic ride by both these riders. Remember, Gordon got the whole shot right from the start gate, but Tom Grant has played an absolute blinder here, but it looks like Gordon's gone down the inside, but Tom Grant holds on to that first place position. But it looks like a slight mistake there by Tom Grant, which has allowed Gordon into the driving seat, so it looks like Gordon Morrison is going to head up the hill to the checkered flag for his second race win of the day. But it's still a fantastic race between these two gladiators, so it's a win for Gordon Morrison with Tom Grant in second position. So thanks once again for retuning to Classic Dirt Bike TV, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button in order to see more of these vintage and Evolution race bikes.